if I'm honest with you today, on the bus ride here to Orlando, Florida, I had a completely different sermon that I was going to come and preach to you today. But as I was in prayer and praying about my sermon and what God wanted me to speak through you guys, He revealed to me that a sermon that comes from a real point in your life, in a real season that you're going through, is far greater than when you wrote out for a competition. So as I was praying and going over that, it led me to the question, what do you do when life breaks you? Last August, exactly 1 year ago today, my grandpa got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. But we were hopeful. We went through chemo, radiation, and even Y90 treatment. And for a few months, it looked like he was getting better. But then suddenly, on June 30th, 2025, his health declined and he passed away. The hardest part is that week I was away from my family at summer camp. I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't understand why God was letting it happen that way. And honestly, I still don't understand right now. But that was the moment I had to start walking by faith, not by my feelings. That week, my faith stopped being something I just talked about. It became something I had to live my everyday life. And that leads me straight to point 1. Real faith keeps walking, even when it can't see. 2 Corinthians 5:7 says, "For we walk by faith and not by sight." Martin Luther King Jr. said it like this. He said, faith is like taking the first steps, even when you can't see the whole staircase. I couldn't see the reason, nor could I see the outcome. But persistent faith isn't about seeing the whole path. It's about trusting the one who leads it. My faith is what kept me going, even when I couldn't see the reason nor the outcome. Sometimes God's no is a doorway to His greater yes in your life. When life hits as hard as it can, real faith doesn't freeze and stay stagnant, but it keeps on pushing forward and keeps on walking, even when it can't see or it feels confusing. Point 2, persevering faith, trust beyond the pain. Proverbs 3:5 says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not onto your own understanding. I had to trust God without understanding Him. I had to believe that He was still good, even when everything in my world felt everything but good. It reminded me of the verse, James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy when you face trials, because the testing of your faith produces perseverance. If I was given the choice, I would have never chosen this pain in my life. But it's producing something inside of me, a stronger walk with Christ, a deeper faith, a bold trust that I never had before. Faith doesn't mean understanding everything. It means trusting God anyways. Point number 3, desperate faith pushes through the obstacles of life. In Matthew 9, there's a story with a woman with the issue of blood. She had this issue for 12 years, going from doctor to person, spending her money on everything and everyone, but nothing could help her. She reached a point where she was desperate for a touch of God, that she didn't care what the world or the crowd around her had to say. So she heard Jesus was in town. As she broke through the crowd, reached and touched His garment. Not because she had a thought that maybe He can heal me if I touch Him, but she had faith and believed that Jesus was the one and only healing and answer for her life. One of my favorite pastors, Robert Madu, said, desperation is the door that breakthrough walks through. When I lost my grandpa, I had to become desperate, not for the answers I was looking for, but for Jesus alone. I had to stop leaning on my feelings and start leaning onto my faith. And so, what do you do when life breaks you? What do you do when you don't get the miracle you're praying for? What do you do when you don't get the goodbye that you wish you had? Are you walking by faith when you can't see the way? Is your faith persistent, or is it convenient for your life? Is your faith desperate, or is your faith distant from God? Here's what I've learned through my journey. Real faith keeps on walking, even when the road ahead seems blurry. Faith keeps trusting, even when the pain hurts so bad. And real faith keeps on reaching out, even when it feels like God is too far away from you. I still miss my grandpa. I still don't have all the answers today. But I know this. God is using my pain to grow me into my purpose. And he can do the same for you. So are you going to walk by faith, even when you can't see the way? Thank you.